Welcome to another Down the Rabbit Hole video. Gonna do a video response that I haven't done in ages. The Friday4some is back. Novabug, who I'll put a link to his channel down below, but he's got way more subscribers than me, so he doesn't need a push from me. He used to do this all the time. It was a list on a Friday for about a month of what are your for this, what are your for that. And it's been away for a long time. It came back last month, but the topic I was kind of like, well, I don't really have an answer to that, so didn't partake. But this one I'm doing. So this is my response to Novabug for the Friday4some, your 4 most played arcade machines. Now, I kind of did one of these many years ago. Electric Adventures actually asked, what are the game cabinets that got the most coins out of you? And some of these are the same item, but on that list I only gave 3. This is a foursome, so I'm going to put 4 items on here. And I'm actually going to change one of my answers from my which games got the most coins out of me, because I'll explain later. But let's get right into it. I'm going to do this in reverse order. I don't really know the numbers, but it feels about right to me how many of these I played, or these titles. So, the number 4 on the list, I guess, way back, Lunar Lander from Atari. I don't know what it is about Lunar Lander. I loved it as a kid. Maybe because it's a pretty simple premise. You got that one big thrust controller, and you just rotate left and right. You want to land your Lunar Lander on the little target areas. Pretty straightforward. And it was very common in a lot of the places I went. A lot of arcades, even some of the ferry boats that we have that go to our provincial capital, there was always a Lunar Lander on the boat there. So I was like, hey, I'm going to put a quarter in there. It's probably not the best plan, because what your quarters do is give you fuel. It's one of those games designed to make you separate with a lot of coins. But I didn't have a lot of coins back then, but I would beg, can I get 50 cents and play at least 2 games, or maybe one long game of Lunar Lander. I really liked that game. I don't know what it was, but that was one that I played a lot, and anytime I would see it at an event, I would totally throw a quarter into it for the old time's sake. Loved Lunar Lander, and there's actually a way to play a modern version of that, which is really cool, which I'll do a video for sometime. Sidetracking slightly. In PSVR, the Apollo 11 experience, it's not really a game, you can play some of the sections, you can walk around the moon. There is a bit where you actually land the lander on the moon. You play real-life Lunar Lander, and it's pretty cool. It's challenging. I love it. So when I played that in the PSVR experience, I was like, oh man, this takes me back to Lunar Lander back in the late 70s. Love that game. So I'm going to put that down as my number 4. Number 3 is Asteroids, also from the late 70s. Loved Asteroids to death. It's one of those games that you always see it everywhere. All events always have it. All of the arcades here always had Asteroids, or Asteroids Deluxe, but definitely original Asteroids was in every arcade, and I would always put a couple quarters into it. Loved that game. Played it a lot. This is where our list differentiates. The one I gave Electric Adventures, I actually put Smash TV down as my number 3 game that got the most quarters out of me, but the difference is, it's not like I played it a lot. It was more, you've died, your partner's still going, don't you want to put a quarter in to continue your game? So I would pump cash into that thing a lot. It was a great game. And I put a lot of money in it. I don't think I would say I played it as much. I mean, I played it like any other standard run-of-the-mill arcade game. I played it a lot, but not like top 4, not like a Friday4some list of the most played. It got a lot of quarters out of me, so my Electric Adventure answer still applies. But for this list, which is slightly different, I'm taking Smash TV off that list and putting Asteroids in its place, because Asteroids I played a lot, and I still play it. Anytime I go to Portland Retro Gaming Expo, or the Northwest Pinball Machine, or anywhere that's got arcade machines, if there's an Asteroids, I play it. I love it. Number 2, we are back to my Electric Adventures answers here, because that's Terminator 2, the gun game where you're kind of shooting at all the Terminators and protecting the soldiers on the front screen. Love that game, and it did, get a lot of quarters out of me back in the day, Electric Adventures answer, but I also just played it a lot. There was a whole era there of like the early 90s where there was a resurgence of video game arcades going on again, largely due to Street Fighter. And I saw Terminator 2 in several of them, and me and my buddy, we would say, hey, let's play some T2. So really love that game. I would definitely put that down as my number 2 most played arcade machine. Novabug does say, this is not your favorites by any stretch. This is, what did you actually play a lot? Yeah, T2, definitely number 2. And my number 1, everybody knows this already, definitely was on the Electric Adventures thing. I've talked about this ad nauseum, but I love it a lot. Final Fight. Again, early 90s. There was a whole time where me and my friend would, on a Friday night, go to the pizza parlor, have a pizza. Then there was this one arcade that always had Final Fight there. We'd plunk down $5 and say to the guy, give me 20 quarters? Was that 20 quarters? Something like 20 quarters. Yeah, go in. Yeah, it's 20 quarters. Go in and just put in our money and play Final Fight all the way to the end. We would use up that $5 every Friday for like 3 months. So again, the math was, if it's every Friday, there's 4 of those in a month, times 3 months, 12, $5 at a time. I paid $60 back in the day on Final Fight in the arcade. Not a cartridge I could take home. I've got them now for like Game Boy Advance. I've got the little Japanese one because I did a video about this. Poison from Final Fight. There's a whole history thing going on there, and that was also why I kind of liked playing Final Fight back in the day. That's why I got so many quarters out of me. The Japanese GBA game has restored Poison and Roxy, whereas they got replaced by Sid and Johnny? Can't remember the other guy. Billy and Sid in the Super NES one. Travesty. We won't go into that stuff. But yeah, to backtrack a little bit, Final Fight was the number 1 game that both got a lot of quarters out of me back in the day, hence Electric Adventures question. And 2, it's the machine I played the most. Not necessarily a favorite, it's up there. And there were a lot of other machines that I would play pretty regularly that I didn't quite think would qualify for this question. So I thought, okay, I'm not going to put down Tempest or Dragon's Lair or Battlezone or Berserk. Like I played all of those things. Ironically, not that much Pac-Man. I didn't find too many Pac-Man machines when I was younger, which is strange. Street Fighter, like I threw a bunch of cash into a whole wide variety of arcade games. But as far as the ones that actually, A, got a lot of quarters out of me, and B, I played a lot, it's these ones. So, that's my answer to Novabug. Really glad to see the Friday4some back. Again, put a link below to Novabug's video. I'll let him know I've posted this. Kind of don't like repeating stuff I've answered before, hence the Electric Adventures connection, but this was a slightly different question, and that was years ago that I did this reply, so I thought, I've had a lot of new subscribers since that time. Why not refresh the description or the discussion so that people will know, hey, yeah, there were some pretty unusual pinnacle games in my youth. And man, I definitely want to fire up that Lunar Lander game that's in the PSVR experience, because that's pretty cool. All right, until next time, we'll see you down the rabbit hole.